Okay, so in this question, we want to know how many ways can we write the number 10,001 as the sum of two primes. Okay, so I feel like this question is not really like, I wouldn't say uh it's definitely difficult if you don't like see the like trick behind it, but if you see the trick behind it, it really isn't that difficult of a question. So the key thing to notice is like, I guess like you have the number 10,001, and we want to write it as the sum of two prime numbers. Now, the idea is like prime numbers are usually odd. Like they're not always odd, they're usually odd. Like the first few prime numbers are like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, and so on. So the only even prime number is 2. But all other prime numbers are all going to be odd because you can't have an even prime number greater than 2 because then it would be divisible by 2 and it wouldn't be a prime number. So like any number greater than 2 that's a prime number must be odd. So the idea is you see that 10,001, it's an odd number. And if they mention the sum of two primes. Now, if the two prime numbers are both odd, right? If the two prime numbers are both odd, an odd number plus another odd number is always going to give an even number. Like, for example, like if you do 11 plus 17, they're both prime numbers, you're going to get 28. So no matter what two odd numbers you choose, if you add them, you're going to get an even number. But 10,001 is not an even number, it's an odd number, which means that your two prime numbers cannot both be odd. So if your two prime numbers cannot both be odd, that means one of them has to be even. And if one of them is even and it's a prime number, then it has to be 2. So that means like if you can write this as a sum of two prime numbers, you have to write it as like 2 plus something. So if you do 10,001 minus 2, you get 2 plus 9999. And now what we can do is we can see 2 plus 9999 is the only possible way to write this as a sum of two prime numbers because we can't have two odd numbers. We have to have an even number, so we have to have a 2. But the problem with this is like 9999 is not a prime number because 9999 is pretty obvious, or it's not too hard to see that you can write this as 9 times 1111, right? And since 9999 can be written as 9 times 1111, like that means this is not a prime number. So that means we can't use any odd numbers, so we have to use a 2. But if we use a 2, it also doesn't work. So essentially, no matter what, you cannot write 10,001 as a sum of two prime numbers, which means that your answer would just be 0. There are 0 ways to write 10,001 as a sum of two prime numbers.